Did you know that every year, on average, the U.S. experiences more than 1,000 tornadoes, 5,000 floods, and 10,000 severe thunderstorms? Shocking, isn't it? Let's pause and consider that for a moment. The sheer magnitude of these numbers can be overwhelming. It's easy to forget that behind each of these numbers are real people, real homes, and real lives forever changed by these natural disasters. The United States, vast and geographically diverse, is no stranger to the wrath of Mother Nature. From the powerful storms that sweep across the Midwest to the wildfires that ravage the West Coast, the threat of disaster is a reality that many Americans live with every day. These natural disasters, while terrifying in their unpredictability, are not just random acts of nature. They are intricately linked to the very fabric of our planet's ecosystems. Climate change, a topic of heated debate and concern, is playing its part, amplifying the frequency and intensity of these events. Each flood, each tornado, each thunderstorm is a stark reminder of the delicate balance that exists between us and our environment. But it's not all doom and gloom. Understanding the patterns and potential risks associated with these disasters can better equip us to face them. Knowledge is our greatest weapon against the unpredictable. With it, we can prepare, we can plan, and we can protect ourselves and our loved ones from the worst of what nature has to offer. So where does this leave us? Well, it's one thing to understand the broader picture of natural disasters in the U.S., but it's another to zoom in and examine the specific areas most at risk. Certain states, due to their unique geographical features and climate conditions, bear the brunt of these disasters more than others. And that's where this journey takes us next. We're going to delve deeper, state by state, and uncover the harsh realities of living in the path of Mother Nature's fury. Now let's dive into the 10 worst U.S. states to be in when disaster strikes. At number 10, we have Florida, known for its hurricanes. But that's not all. Florida is renowned for its sun-soaked beaches, but it is also a hotbed for natural disasters. Hurricanes, of course, are the main concern. These massive storm systems sweep in from the Atlantic, bringing torrential rain, high winds, and devastating storm surges. However, hurricanes aren't the only disaster that Floridians have to contend with. The state's low-lying topography and heavy rainfall make it particularly susceptible to flooding. And then there's the lightning. Florida has earned a reputation as the lightning capital of the United States, with frequent and sometimes deadly strikes. And let's not forget about the sinkholes. Florida's limestone bedrock is prone to these sudden and catastrophic collapses, swallowing homes and roads. As if all this wasn't enough, Florida is also at risk from wildfires, particularly in its drier seasons. So Florida makes our list as the 10th worst state to be in during a disaster. Coming in at number 9 is Oklahoma, the heart of Tornado Alley. This state is no stranger to the violent whirlwinds that descend upon it each year, more frequently than any other place in the world. Oklahoma is home to some of the most powerful and destructive tornadoes ever recorded, capable of flattening entire communities in the blink of an eye. These twisters have been known to reach speeds of over 300 miles per hour, leaving a trail of devastation in their wake. The severity of these storms is only exacerbated by the state's geographical position. Situated in the center of the United States, Oklahoma is a prime target for the meeting of warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico and cold, dry air from the Rockies. This clash of air masses creates the perfect recipe for tornado formation. Oklahoma, with its terrifying tornadoes, takes the 9th spot. At number 8, we have South Carolina, a state that's no stranger to disasters. The Palmetto State has seen its fair share of calamities, and its coastal location makes it a prime target for some of nature's most destructive forces. South Carolina's vulnerability to flooding is well documented, with torrential rains often leading to widespread damage. But water isn't the only concern here. Hurricanes, too, pose a significant threat, with the state's coastline regularly feeling the brunt of these mighty storms. But the hazards don't stop there. South Carolina also sits on a seismic fault line, making it susceptible to earthquakes. While these events are less frequent, their potential for destruction is immense. All these factors combined make South Carolina a high-risk state for disasters. Its residents must constantly stay prepared, knowing that floods, hurricanes, or even an earthquake could strike at any time. South Carolina, with its multitude of threats, is our 8th worst state for disasters. Missouri takes the 7th spot, a state that sits right on the New Madrid seismic zone, a place that's no stranger to the ground shaking beneath its feet. This Midwestern state, fondly known as the Show Me State, is a hotspot for seismic activity. Its location along the New Madrid seismic zone means the potential for devastating earthquakes is high. In fact, some of the most powerful quakes in U.S. history have occurred here. You might recall the series of severe earthquakes that struck in the winter of 1811 and 1812. Those quakes were so powerful, they caused the Mississippi River to flow backwards for a short time. While the frequency of such large-scale quakes has decreased, the risk remains. Missouri's infrastructure, from its bridges to its buildings, could face significant damage in the event of a substantial quake. Missouri, with its earthquake risk, is our 7th worst state to be in during a disaster. Number 6 is Texas, a state that sees everything from tornadoes to hurricanes. The Lone Star State, with its expansive landscape and diverse climate, is no stranger to Mother Nature's wrath. Texas is frequently pelted with hailstorms, often causing significant damage to property. The state also lies squarely in Tornado Alley, with an average of 140 tornadoes annually. But that's not all. Texas's Gulf Coast is a prime target for hurricanes, with the catastrophic Hurricane Harvey in 2017 serving as a stark reminder of the state's vulnerability. The hurricane caused a record-breaking 60 inches of rain, resulting in unprecedented flooding and devastation. Moreover, Texas's high summer temperatures often lead to severe droughts and wildfires. These disastrous events can cause extensive damage, loss of life, and significant disruption to the community. Given this combination of threats, Texas, with its wide variety of disasters, comes in at number 6. We're down to the top 5 now, with Louisiana coming in at number 5. Louisiana, a state known for its vibrant culture and rich history, is unfortunately no stranger to natural disasters. This southern gem is frequently battered by hurricanes, some of the most destructive forces Mother Nature has to offer. These storms bring with them not just powerful winds, but also torrential rains. The result? Widespread flooding that can devastate communities and displace thousands of people. And it's not just the coastal areas. Even inland regions of Louisiana are susceptible to these floods, making the entire state vulnerable to the wrath of these hurricanes. It's not just the immediate impact of these disasters either. The aftermath often includes power outages, water contamination, and damage to infrastructure that can take weeks or even months to repair. It's a harsh reality for the residents of this beautiful state. Louisiana, with its severe weather and flooding, takes the 5th spot. At number 4, we have California, a state known for its wildfires and earthquakes. The Golden State, despite its sun-kissed beaches and breathtaking landscapes, is a hotbed for natural disasters. Wildfires, fueled by dry vegetation and fanned by intense winds, have become increasingly common and devastating. The state's residents are no strangers to the orange glow of fire on the horizon and the ashes falling like a grim snow. Then, there's the ever-present threat of earthquakes. California straddles the infamous San Andreas Fault and several other active fault lines. The ground beneath can shake violently without warning, toppling buildings and disrupting lives. Some of these tremors have been so powerful, they've altered the course of rivers and flattened entire towns. So, while California may be a dream destination for many, it's important to consider the risks. California, with its risk of wildfires and earthquakes, is our 4th worst state for disasters. Coming in at number 3 is Alabama, a state that sees some of the most severe weather in the country. Alabama is no stranger to the wrath of Mother Nature. This southern state frequently experiences a variety of extreme weather events, from tornadoes that twist and turn through the sky to hurricanes that bring with them heavy rain and damaging winds. Severe thunderstorms are also a common occurrence, often resulting in widespread power outages and damage to infrastructure. The impacts of these events are profound and often devastating. Homes are destroyed, livelihoods are disrupted, and sadly, lives are lost. The frequency and severity of these weather events make Alabama a challenging place to be when disaster strikes. It's a state that tests the resilience and strength of its residents time and time again. The fact that severe weather is an all-too-common reality here in Alabama is why it takes the third spot. Alabama, with its severe weather, takes the third spot. The second worst state to be in during a disaster is Mississippi. As we delve into this southern state's landscape, we discover a place that's no stranger to natural calamities. Mississippi faces a high risk of various disasters, including floods, hurricanes, and severe storms. The state's low-lying topography, proximity to the Gulf of Mexico, and its large river system make it particularly vulnerable to floods. Meanwhile, hurricane season brings its own set of challenges. From June to November, the state is under constant threat of powerful storms. These can cause significant damage, from uprooting trees to destroying homes. Severe storms, too, are a common occurrence, with the state often dealing with the destructive aftermath of tornadoes. The constant threat of these disasters and their destructive effects have a significant impact on the state's infrastructure and the lives of its residents. Mississippi, with its high disaster risk, comes in at number 2, and the number 1 worst state to be in during a disaster is Alaska. This frost-bitten state is a whole different ballgame when it comes to danger. While its natural beauty is undeniable, Alaska's unique risks make it a challenging place to be during a disaster. Imagine facing the raw power of earthquakes. Alaska is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire, making it highly susceptible to seismic activities. And with earthquakes come tsunamis. The state's extensive coastline is a prime target for these destructive waves. But it doesn't stop there. Alaska's severe winter storms are another force to be reckoned with. These storms can bring extreme cold, heavy snowfall, and high winds, often resulting in power outages, blocked roads, and isolation. The potential for significant damage in Alaska is high, and it's often amplified by the state's remote locations and sparse population. This makes rescue and recovery efforts particularly challenging. Alaska, with its unique and severe threats, is our number 1 worst state to be in during a disaster. So there you have it, the 10 worst states to be in during a disaster. From Florida's hurricanes to Alaska's earthquakes, these states present unique challenges that require a well-thought-out plan. Oklahoma's tornadoes, South Carolina's floods, Missouri's storms, Texas's heat waves, Louisiana's hurricanes, California's wildfires, Alabama's tornadoes, and Mississippi's hurricanes are all harsh reminders of nature's wrath. The key takeaway? Preparation is paramount. Remember, no matter where you are, it's always best to be prepared. Stay safe out there.